2005. 19-year-old 0311 in Helmand Province. About 1 month in, been in a few firefights, nothing special. Be on watch at an FOB at exactly 0 dark 30, bored as dick. Decide it's perfect time to chew, I refuse to smoke, gives a nice little target. Look for tin for about 5 minutes, paying no attention to my sector. When I look up I see 2 eyes glowing bright red about 100 meters out. Stare for a minute to see if I'm seeing things. Eyes don't move, so I grab NV and look. Eyes are gone when I look through the scope. Come back when I put the NV down. Sit and stare for a good 30 minutes. Eyes slowly start to move side to side in an odd motion. Not so much back and forth, but they go left and up and then drop suddenly and then right and down and jump up. Hear weird noises, start shitting pants. Now let me say the Afghan people are extremely devoted to the ideas of monsters and sprites and such. Think to stories I've heard and get really nervous. Decide fuck it, fire a flare. Quickly catch a glimpse of a large dog-like creature, looked like a skinny dog but the size of a bear. Grab 240 and fire. Bright light out of nowhere from bear, blinded for a good 30 seconds. When I gain my sight back, the thing is gone. Never saw the eyes on watch again. Ended up telling my I saw movement, so I shot of the flare and saw a Haji with a bomb vest. Told a few other dudes in my platoon and apparently they had seen the eyes too. Scarier than any firefight I've been in.
Go hunting by myself. See nothing but small squirrels and other shits that too small for me to waste a bullet on. This shit. Hop in my golf cart ATV and head north, a lot deeper than I usually go, and am advised by my dad. Weird shit in those woods, Anon, be best if you stayed out of them. LOL, that was when I was a kid, I'm not cute enough to molest anymore. Drive up thought the trails, then park off to the side. Walk into the trees, still can't find shit. Wander on for a bit, thinking I might get lucky or at the very least enjoy a nature walk. Soon a pungent smell hits me like a stepfather. Dead animal, there's a kill site nearby. Ready my AR, crouch, walk towards the smell. Hear a wet smacking / crunching sound. Stumble upon an open area and, Jesus Christ. Dead woodland creatures mutilated beyond recognition, tied to trees. Dried blood and entrails pooled in the bottom. In the center is some deliverance motherfucker, wearing nothing but long john undies, and boots, covered in blood and stabbing the shit out of a deer carcass. This wasn't harvesting meat, this was just pure mutilation. He's also on top of it while cutting, like he's hugging it. Openly say what the fuck. Before I can stop myself. His head fucking snaps up like one of those bad Skinwalker stories and he starts walking towards me, total deadpan expression. Should AR, shout at him to back the fuck off. Good, the bad and the ugly stare down, then I moonwalk away, gun still drawn on him. When I reach a safe distance, GTFO to my ATV. When I do reach it I see him come barreling through the woods holding a homemade spear. No time to turn around, hit reverse for a good 25 yards while he runs down the road at me. With the breathing room try to do a U-turn and get stuck. The stuff off movies.jpg. Take out my Glock 20, frantically try to unfuck myself while Jeffrey Dahmer is coming. Get out, he's within 15 feet of me, drive home, never go back there again. Kentucky, ladies and gentlemen. In 2005, early 2006 in Jalalabad, Afghanistan. We were having a boring day, nothing had been going on for about a week. Everything was quiet and going good. Had just come back from a vehicle patrol and was counting everything, getting ready to put the boys in the rack. All of a sudden, all the radios come to life. Someone on the other end is screaming about being ambushed and getting whacked to pieces. Everyone in earshot gets that oh shit look on their faces, and I yell at my APL to get the trucks reloaded and have everyone suited up and ready to roll in 5 minutes while I run to the cock and find out where we are needed. As I enter the cock, it is hopping. Radios going off, guys still screaming, guns going off. The RO is trying to break in and find out who is in contact. Jump on BN frequency and ask them who is in contact and if we need to roll to them. BN says everyone reports negative contact and to stand by. BN gets in contact with higher, who is also receiving the transmission, and they report all units are reporting negative contact. Radio's going crazy, you can hear all kinds of screaming, people in pain, people screaming to break contact, and suddenly we hear get that GD60 rolling. We all look at each other and ask 60? As in the machine gun? Voice comes back screaming about get the pig going. Get it going. Then, he starts screaming in pain, and the transmission cuts out. No one had contact that day. No one. That was the freaking thing that ever happened to me. Had a nightmare about it that night. I've got myself a story. It's long as fuck, and I'm too lazy to control plus V, so here we go. Be me, several years back. Be studying business at public college, hating life. Depressed, no friends at a party school, failing some classes. No hob, no guns except an Ijevsk nugget. Lose last close relative to an 18-wheeler. Decide I've had about enough. Grab nugget, couple boxes of Tulamo, winter clothes, camping supplies, 3 days food. Plan on literally wandering off into the St. Joe National Forest to die. Pic related, stolen from the internet because I didn't take a camera with me. Didn't want to waste a camera. Mid-December, so snowy AF. Stop at Walmart, buy another box of Tula and a few packs of Newports. See poster hung up near the pisser in the Wally World. QT Pie recently gone missing. Stare at picture for a while. Think lonely thoughts. Face burned into memory. Piss, leave Wally World, still thinking about QT and how I'll never have had one of my own. Drive out to Idaho. Arrive at destination, step out of the car into the cold. Still remember the feeling it gave me, the crunch of the snow underneath my cheap, shitty boots. Unpack my shit, ditch the car, leave it unlocked for once. Start walking. Light me up a cigarette. Lose sight of the car. Hike for hours, probably in circles. Couple hours in, veer off the trail and just hike through the woods. Really drinking in the beauty of it all. Such a haunting and desolate place. Start running low on cigarettes. Start to get the feeling that I shouldn't be there, a twinge of fear. Ignored it, I was out there to die anyhow. Begin to feel like I'm being followed, hear branches break behind me every so often. Assume it's just snowfall weighing down branches until they drop. Hell, that may be even it, but I doubt it. Run out of cigarettes shortly before sundown. Say fucking hell in an audible, almost loud voice. Almost felt guilty for breaking the silence, that sort of feeling you'd get if you said fucking cunts in front of your grandmother. Set up an empty water bottle, fired some rounds at it from 50 yards with the Mosin. The echoes rang and rang. Maximum EEE because I didn't have the forethought to bring ear pro on my suicide trip. Pull out a single round, tuck it into my boot, for shooting myself later if I so chose. Took the backpack off to do the shooting, went to grab it and noticed movement in the trees, maybe 100 yards away. It was big, whatever it was, real big. Always had shitty eyesight, that's why the Navy wouldn't take me. Figured it was just a blurry ass elk. Was standing there, staring at it, wondering if there were elk in this part of the world or not. Started to get a funny feeling. Moving slowly, terribly slowly, went to chamber around in the Mosin. Bolt got stuck for some reason, looked down to see what the problem was, looked up, it was gone. It was just an elk Anon calm down .jpg. Well, the worst it can do is kill me, right? That's why I'm here, right? Right? Start making camp, quickly forget about it. Getting a fire set up and finding wood is difficult as shit. Pain in the dick. Get frustrated. Have a hissy fit and throw a piece of wood at a tree. Scream fuck you at a tree. Calm down. Make camp all the way. Mow down on MRE at about sundown. Why does this shit taste like blood? Because the air smells like blood. And copper. And decay. The fuck? Ever read about this? JPEG. Relax, Anon, it's nothing. Hear a distorted fuck you come from the trees. Leap to my feet, loaded Mosin in hand. Spinning around and around, scanning the trees. Hear branch break at my 9 o'clock. Train rifle on my 9 o'clock. Hold it still. Fine dusting of snow starts to accumulate on the rifle. After about an hour, relax. Tuck self into sleeping bag. No tent, because I fucking forgot one. Idiot. Fold sleeping bag over myself without zipping it. Sleep with rifle in hands, ready to go. Fall asleep with almost entire body stuffed into sleeping bag. Awoken by foul smell, same as before but more so. Notice fire is out. Check watch, I'd slept 2 hours or so. Feel weight on ankles. Look down at ankles, my pack is resting on my ankles. I didn't fucking put that there. Realize there's a tree that shouldn't be there right at the foot of my sleeping bag. Realize it's not a tree. It moves a little. Swear I can almost hear it breathe. Taller than a person, for sure, and thicker. Was able to make out the arms. Long, with claws, hanging loose by its sides. Heart starts pounding on dirt nasty I can near. Consider for a split second putting the Mosin barrel into my mouth and trying to end it all before it gets me. Adrenaline takes over. Slept with the Mosin in my hands ready to go. Use Mosin to flip unzip sleeping bag off of me. Aim at the figure and fire around. Binded, deaf end. Leap to my feet, swinging the Mosin in front of me like a club and screaming. Regain vision. Panically scan the trees. It's gone. Maybe it's hiding behind a tree, just out of view. Fuck, I'm scared. I'll kill you. Fuck off, I'll kill you. I will. Said it louder. Fuck off, I'll kill you. Somebody replies, distant but clear. Hello. Followed by are you okay? Replied who the fuck are you? What do you want? The message came back Jim. Are you alright? Talked with it some more, all the while nervously scanning the perimeter. Couple other voices chimed in from the same direction. Told them I nearly got eaten by a bear. They fired off an orange flare, realized they were close as fuck, just down a hill. Pretty sure I passed through the clearing they set up in shortly before making camp. Can you come to us? What if I get ambushed? I'll come to you. I have a gun, don't shoot me, okay? Deal. Please hurry. Seemed like it took forever for homie to show up. We played Marco Polo until he got to me. Had a stainless steel .357 and a flashlight. Introduced himself as Jim, nice enough guy, asked me if I was injured. Manlet as fuck. Led me back to his camp. Spoke to me quietly, on the way. We've had bear troubles ourselves. Even quieter. Ain't no fucking bear, man. You agree? Replied couldn't fucking agree more. The others still think we just ran into a bear in the woods and are pretty calm. Try not to spook them, half of them are shit-faced. Roger that. Ask how many people you have with you. 6 others. We arrived. Their camp was in relative disarray. Coolers and a couple tents scattered around a low fire. Beer cans everywhere, trash everywhere. Drunk buck-toothed dude stumbles up to me, asks me where the bathroom is. This is a shitty horror movie and we're all going to fucking die/10. Only other gun besides my nugget and homebody Jim's .357 is a fucking .22. Unless you count the flare gun. Jim and the kid with the 22, who introduced himself as Travis, convinced their inebriated friends to stop drinking in case bears, guys. Manlet bro Jim systematically introduces me to everybody. Buckteeth from earlier has stumbled into a tent and passed out, as has one grill. Shake hands and exchange names with everyone else. Something is off. Run some numbers in my head. 7 people total, 2 asleep in tents. Why are there 6 people out here? Jim dicks off to work on the fire, go to say hello to the last person, a grill. Ignores and stares at me. It's kinda dark, but I swear the face looks familiar. Something moves in my left peripheral vision. It's stainless steel. It's the barrel of Jim's revolver. He's pointing it at the person I'm trying to talk to, slowly moving closer. Her face is just expressionless. Get the feeling I know her, then instantly realize I do. It's the face from the missing person poster at Walmart. Homie starts to say something to the effect of "Who the fuck are you?" She wheels around it dead, sprints into the tree line, gone in an instant. People who saw it start yelling. Who was that? What the fuck? Smell hits. Check the Mosin, it's loaded. We form a perimeter. Armed expeditions go to the tree line, panically gather wood, build fire big as fuck. Everyone who isn't passed out drunk is clutching something. The 22, the flare gun, machetes, a hatchet, regular knives. Nobody says a fucking word. Hear branches breaking off in one direction. More breaking, same direction. Smell gets fouler. Fuck 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 fuck. Wish I had my cigarettes. Grill with the flare gun sees something, fires a flare into the trees. Curse grill's stupidity under breath. See silhouette 15 or so feet from the flare, illuminated. Fire around at it. Hits a tree, thing bolts. People see it bolt, hear it bolt. It doesn't run away from the campsite, just kind of adjacent to it. Branches break and people see things move for another hour. Kid with the .22 starts firing rounds almost constantly at different stuff. Is scolded for wasting ammo. Continues. Jim grabs and shakes him, tells him to knock it off. Realize they look so much alike because they brothers. As the melodrama unfolds, hear loud shit behind me. Wheel around, fire a shot at the blur moving towards camp at lightning pace. Got a blurry, firelight look at the thing as it sprinted right through camp, grabbed a dude, and tried to haul him off into the woods. Guy had a machete, hacked at it and it let him go. Was curled in a ball, screaming. Dragged him back to the fire, calmed him down. The thing was big. It ran with a funny ass gait, but it was fast. Furry thing, big, oversized feet. Antlers, swear it had fucking antlers. Fuck, Jimmy, you okay? You see those fucking claws, man? It circles more. All of us, myself included, panic shoot into the trees. All running low on ammo. Still only 3 a.m. Fire burning low. It starts talking to us. Parroting back things we've said. Fuck, Jimmy, you okay? Running out of .357, guys, fuck. I almost hit it that time. Couple people start crying. Start to fucking lose it myself. The thing fucking charges again, right at me. Scream and sprint right at it. Bury a bayonet in its chest and pull the fucking trigger. Swipes at me with a claw, goes just over my head. Reels, pulls back, darts back into tree line. Fucking chased it. Gun raised over my head, screaming. Got into trees and saw it crouching there, 6 feet from me. It was dark, but I saw it. Looked into its eyes and fucking lost it. Lost every bit of courage I had. Stood there, stiff, waiting for it to fucking kill me. TFW hopeless prey in front of apex predator. Couple people grabbed me by the shoulders and dragged me back to the fire. They didn't see it, it was right there. Only 3 rounds left, now. Used snow to clean black, steaming blood off of bayonet. Camp was still circled, but less so, and the thing didn't fucking parrot us anymore, just wheezed. Loud, terrible, awful wheezes. Shrieked some, too. Sun finally started to come up. Most beautiful sunset I've ever seen. Fucking swear. They haphazardly packed their shit. We hiked 10 or so tense minutes, in tight formation, to a trail very close by. I had no idea it was there. Follow the trail back to their pathfinder. They all jump in, I'm stuck standing there. Remember my mission, why it was I came there. Look down at the rifle, 3 rounds left. Remember the bullet in my boot. 4 rounds left. The fuck are you doing standing there, Anon, get in the fucking car. Anon, get the fuck in. Sorry guys, I have unfinished business. Start to walk back down the trail, back into the woods. Feel the crunch of snow beneath my boots, the rays of sunlight shining down. Suddenly, darkness. Got knocked the fuck out and thrown into the pathfinder. They hauled ass out, swear they saw something big step out from behind a tree and watch them drive away. We all agreed never to talk about it again, for some fucking reason. Never went back for my car, it was a piece of shit anyways. B18. Live in rural PA. Camping with a few friends after graduation. Dad bought me a M37 and a 1911 for a graduation present. Have to legally open carry because 18 years old. Anyway, only one armed. Couple females show up and ask what's up with the guns etc. Make jokes about me killing them or some shit. Just laugh it off. Continue cooking burgers. Hear some rustling in the bushes. This was in 2008. I wasn't a huge /K/Amando, but good God I was paranoid because of these threads. Basically spring to truck 10 feet away and grab shotgun. Just some faggots trying to crash the party / steal the girls. They yell at me, please don't shoot us Rambo. Put shotgun back in truck and finish the burgers. Faggots try stealing our burgers, I tell them if they touch it then it will be the last piece of food they ever see. Point to the cooler and say there is beer and more beef, make yourself one and stop being an asshole. They do so and we all kind of sit around murmuring quietly. Check cooler, realize beer is almost out. Since I have a beard and know the cashier at the liquor store, I decide to go on an alcohol run. My one buddy says he will ride in with me because he wanted smokes anyways. Stop at liquor store and get the goods and some smokes. Decide to take a shortcut across a seasonal road to the campsite. Road is windy and skinny. Doing maybe 30, what I thought was a deer bolts ahead in front of us. It's gray though and doesn't look right. We pull over and I shine my fog lamps toward the thing. It looks like a deer but gray and no antlers, and then it stands to its hind legs like a person and jogs off toward the campsite. I am not sure whether I am more afraid or interested because I have always been an avid hunter. I grab my shotgun, my buddy pleads and begs me to just GTFO of the woods. We are out of the truck and he won't stop yammering about how scared he is. Decide to get back in the truck and head to the campsite. We pull up and only a couple people are left, 4 girls and 1 bro. Ask them where everyone went. They say that everyone left because they got pissed at me and my buddy for trying to scare them. They said they could hear us clearly talking and that the shaking the bushes thing and the weird growling wasn't working. We were a fucking half-mile away, show them the GPS. Also show them the receipt from the store and show them that the way back accounted for all of the time we were gone. I look up and here is this thing about 30 yards away in the clearing that you drive in. It looks darker under the moonlight but I can tell it's the same thing. I tell everyone not to fucking move. Some dumb bitch says stop being a fucking asshole. After she says that, not a moment later we hear almost pitch perfect in her voice, "Fucking asshole," from 30 yards away. She screams as well as the other girls. They jump in my truck, seats 5 people. I pull the 1911 off of my hip and yell at the thing, "Hey you fucking cunt, come on, I don't have all night." It was hard to tell in the dim moonlight, but it almost looked like the thing was smirking now. And in a split second it was in the brush again and out of sight. I yelled to my one buddy to grab the pump and start the truck. I am looking all around us trying to get a visual. Then the next thing I know, this thing is 5 yards and closing. I let loose with the 1911 and good God, the 9 rounds went too quickly. Once it was hit, it let out an ear-piercing screech, kinda like a coyote, and bolted back into the woods. I jumped in my truck and took off with the girls and my buddies all piled in. All of the girls were crying and scared. My buddies just had this drawn-out look of horror. And I was concentrating on how fast I could go without crashing. Finally we reached my dad's place and we hung out in the separate garage/man cave. The girls were so scared they told me to pull in the garage or they aren't getting out. I ran out of space and didn't think the last couple lines warranted another post. Basically the rest of the night consisted of trying to calm the girls down and thinking we heard shit that we really didn't. Also fell asleep underneath 2 of the girls, because the man cave only has one bigger section of couch that can seat a few people laying down, and everyone else slept on the floor or the skinnier part.
Oh God, I didn't think I had a story, but this reminded me of something. Few years ago, early 20s. 2 a.m. Drunk as hell, blazing with friend in a park. Small square park in quiet residential neighborhood. Sitting at park bench in darkest part of park. Pretty much invisible. Out of nowhere, rape van, cool creepin' around park. We decide to leave. Don't feel like going to jail. Start walking across park away from van. Suddenly lights. He's onto us. Reach street and start walking towards our house. Still have to walk on sidewalk along edge of park, only half lit by house lights. Van chilling barrels down road towards us. We head back into park as Steven Stakeout pulls to curb. Shouts at us, "Hey, come here." Look back, yell nope. Buddy giggles. "Hey, I just need directions." "Come here." "Don't think so." Continue walking back into dark sanctuary of park, certain this man was not here to offer us more drugs. Mystery machine revs up and rolls around to cut us off on the other side. Starting to get pissed off. "No Scooby snacks for us, sir." Buddy keeps laughing, says we should go back. Buddy is black belt in Taekwondo. We're both carrying fold-out hunting knives. Mug me once, shame on you, you know the rest. Let's go fuck him up. Turn around and start heading straight towards Van Wilder. Get close and start shouting belligerent shit. Get a good look at guy in van. Probably 40s, somewhat scrawny, obviously drunk, parked up on the curb. We're ready to go, talking all that good shit. Knight Rider suddenly remembers where he's going. Books it. MFW, we just look like 2 non-threatening suburban white boys. MFW, the look on his face.
I'm not a regular, but I've been coming here lately because I'm joining the army next year and this board has the most military talk on it, but seeing this thread reminded me of something that happened to me when I was a teenager. For a bit of context, I grew up in a small coastal town in Australia. There wasn't a whole lot to do in this town, so most weekends people would organize these big parties out in the bush or near the beach, where we could drink and take drugs all we wanted without people getting up our arses. The parties sometimes got pretty big. I remember one that had been properly organized that was at least 700 plus people, but normally it was more like 50 to 80 people. For further context, my town had a pretty big Aboriginal population. I think they account for about 15% of the town, when they only make up about 4% of Australia, anyway. Be me, 16 years old. About 9 p.m. at night. Walking with my younger brother along this dirt road in the bush to get to one of these parties. It wasn't far from where I lived, so we knew where we were going. Every now and then a car full of already pissed teenagers passes us. Eventually a car full of boys we know passes and we jump in, cramming about 7 of us in this shitbox hatchback. Get to the party, no women. Party is about 70 people standing around a fire in the bush, lots of cunts drinking goon, cask wine, or passing around joints. There's a big group of a boss standing in a group at the other side of the fire, nothing out of the ordinary. Know almost all of them and some of them I go to school with. The night goes on, we're all getting reasonably pissed and / or stoned and just standing around the fire, trying to crack onto chicks or just talking shit with the boys. I was just taking it easy mostly, slowly getting through a 6-pack of beers I'd brought and watching what was going on. Look back over at the boss across the fire. They're all huddled together. Can see their eyes are darting around, watching the edges of the clearing we're in. They look very alert. If you've ever been around them you'll know this is not normal behavior for drunk boss. Usually they're fighting, or fighting, but now. Keep watching the boss for a while. Eventually make eye contact with one of them, a guy I played footy with last year. Nod at him, he nods back. Make a gesture as if to say what the fuck's going on, cunt. He just looks at me then goes back to watching the edges of the bush. I eventually get distracted and forget all about the boss. Some time passes and I drink a bit more. Someone taps me on the shoulder. It's my ABO mate I nodded at before. What's up, mate? I say. Brah, how you getting home tonight? Probably just walkin', man. Why? Be careful, lad, try get a lift if you can. Yeah, righto. He walks off and joins the group of a boss, who are leaving. They all get into their cars, real Solomon, and just drive off. This is fucking weird because usually a boss are the first to get there and the last to leave at these parties. Usually they'll end up just passed out in the dirt next to the fire or something. Go back to watching fire. Realize it has almost gone out. Suddenly it hits me that the vibe of this party is weird as fuck. Everyone looks distracted, no one's having fun. TS about 1 AM by now. Go and find brother. Soon as I see him I can tell he's thinking the same thing as me. Oi, let's go. Yeah, alright, I'm keen. Say later to a few people and start to make our way home along the road. We're walking pretty quickly, not really talking at all. It's fucking pitch black, not a star in sight. Eerily quiet, can't hear a single bird or anything. We just keep walking. Get about half a km up the track and my brother just stops. Grabs me by the arm. Points off the track into bush. Look over and see there's this figure in the bush. Can just make out humanoid shape. And pair of shiny black eyes. Thing is crouching there. It's too big to just be an ABO hiding in the bush. We both just instinctively just fucking leg it along this road. Run for about a km, then get too puffed and start walking. Track is about 4 kilometers long, so we're not done yet. Both freaking the fuck out internally but not saying anything. Nose is filled with smell of roadkill. Oh wait, it is roadkill. On the side of the road there is a dead kangaroo. Walk past it. Realize it has no fucking head, looks like it's been ripped off. Nope the fuck out and we both keep walking, internally fucking screaming our heads off but too scared to make a sound. Just keep walking as fast as we can. Every now and then we hear what sounds like footsteps in the bush alongside us but we're too scared to look over. Pass more roadkill, another kangaroo. Ponce again, no head. Fuck it, both start to run because we're almost at the end of the dirt road. Reach the end of the road, back in the town. Street lights on and shit. Stop for a second and look back up the dirt road. See this huge black figure standing near where we saw the last headless kangaroo. It doesn't move when we see it. Standing absolutely still just looking in our direction. Nope. Run the fuck home, get straight into bed and go to bed, can't sleep anyway though. Next week I see my ABO mate at school. Man, what the fuck was up on Friday night? I say. Black man's business, sorry brah. Look at him. He looks back at me as if to say don't ever ask me about that again and walks off. Never talked about it with anyone again. Going bush at night freaks me the fuck out now.
I have one. Was too tired last night to post it, but seeing this thread is still going, here's mine. I was 23 years old driving with my girlfriend from the beach. We were on our way home from the coast and it was a 3-hour drive home. We left after sunset. I was driving and she fell asleep after we got on the highway. We were the only ones on the road. The area was pitch black with 0 street lights or house lights. I was getting fatigued, so I drank a Red Bull I kept in my glove box in case I ever needed it. After an hour I was feeling better. I wasn't as tired as I was before. I had to go to the bathroom though, so I tried to find a rest stop. After 30 minutes of driving I could not find one, so I decided to pull over and just pee on the side of the road. My girlfriend woke up when we ran over the bumps on the shoulder of the road that are meant to wake up sleeping drivers. She asked me if something was wrong and I just told her I needed to answer nature's call. She laughed and I stepped out to take of business. I went in the bushes just a few yards away from the car. When I walked back to my car I noticed something dripping from under the car and a strange odor. I thought maybe my car was leaking oil or engine fluid. So I shut off the engine and took out a flashlight to check. It was blood dripping from a mangled animal under the drive shaft. I couldn't make out what type of animal it was because its body had been torn and tangled in the drive shaft. As I got up to get back into the car I noticed 2 eyes blinking to the reflection of my emergency lights. It was about 10 car lengths away, staring right at me. When I looked into my car through the back window at my girlfriend I saw her looking right at the eyes, then at me. She had been staring at the eyes while I was inspecting the car. I shined my flashlight at the animal and it looked like a moose, except it only had 2 legs. Its head went down and began licking the ground. I kept watching it from afar and noticed it was licking the ground once, then taking a few steps towards us, then licking the ground again. I realized it was licking the blood that was trailing from the mangled animal under my car. I was scared and in shock. I couldn't move. I looked at my girlfriend and she was in the same state. When the moose came within 5 car lengths away I noticed it only had 2 legs, no rear body and a slightly longer neck than usual. Its body was more human. It had a chest and hips but I couldn't see any arms. Then after one last lick on the ground it paused and stared at us. Suddenly it let out a howling noise. Like a scream. Off in the distance we could hear the same sound coming from the trees. The animal started sprinting at us. I finally got the nerve to run into my car, but the moment I closed my door we felt a jolt come from the back. The thing rammed its antlers into the back of my trunk. My girlfriend began to scream and I started the engine. Suddenly the back window shattered and its head was through the rear window. I slammed on the gas as the animal started biting. The last thing I saw in my window was the animal running after us. When we reached the next town my girlfriend and I got out of the car at a gas station and looked at the damages. The trunk had a few scuff marks and there was broken glass all over the back seat. We didn't know what to tell people what we saw or if they would have just thought we were crazy. To this day I still remember that animal. I have come to realize whatever I saw that night was not a moose, but something to the likes of no animal I have ever seen.
1988. B8. Be Mexican American, spending summer in Mexico. Dad warned me since childhood it's dangerous to be out in the fields or in graveyards alone, especially at night. Grew a childhood fear of magic being real and alive in Mexico and elsewhere. Out in the countryside and it's dark out, no electricity, only oil lamps and I didn't know how to work one, so just hanging out on the front porch in the moonlight. Hear bugs being kinda loud. Louder than usual, actually. Hear steps. More than one person. Very close. There's no way I couldn't hear them sooner, when they were farther. Look around panicking. No voices, no banter, just shuffling. Gets louder, sounds like a fucking mob. Get up and run inside, trip a few times and psyching myself out thinking I was suddenly in a horror movie and every stumble meant death. Close and lock the door. Grab fireplace poker that lie next to the doorway and run into my room. Close the door, no lock. Window facing moon, the room is pretty well lit to adjusted eyes. Facing door for a long time with poker over shoulder like a baseball bat, hear nothing. Feel slightly at ease. Walk over to bed, about to let myself fall onto it. Look out of window at last moment. A lady draped in a headscarf peering in. Land on bed, feel super vulnerable and jolt, let go of poker. She remained staring at me. She started showing her teeth. Not smiling. What the shit? A guy with a beard comes from the other side, whispering to her. Notices her staring in. Turns to window. Sees me. Starts baring his teeth too. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Too scared to shout. Everyone else in house still asleep. He lifts up his hand and starts pressing and inspecting the window, lightly banging on it. Looks like he's going to open it. What do? Holding my breath, pretty much just waiting for him to open or break the window like a pussy. Think these people are going to get in, drag me by my ankles, all the way to hell. Remember poker. Fuck common sense. Pick it up and run to the window. Smash the poker into the pane closest to the guy. Close eyes reflexively from glass and noise. Open them. Both people gone. Not a sound other than the wind getting in and crickets being loud. Lights turn on in the house. Dad and uncle come into my room, ask why the door is closed. Ask what have I been doing. See the window. Dad flips out. Ask me what was I thinking. Dad starts shouting at me. Tell him in English that there were people outside staring at me. His eyes go wide and he shuts up. Uncle confused, no speaks English. My dad grabs me by the elbow and shouts at uncle to gather everybody in the kitchen. Dad mutters something really quick. Uncle shouts everyone to wake up, get up, hurry up, etc. etc. Often family members, 6 end up in kitchen, the other 4, dad plus uncle plus 2 old cousins, go out with a hunting rifle and an old service revolver, and a couple shovels. They are gone for 10 minutes, which is a super long time when trying to tell mom and other females what happened. Gossip occurs, and shit-eating aunt who likes to rile us up tells us kids it was the Lorona and her husband. La Lorona is no joke, me and young girl cousin legit scared at that point. Mom and other aunt tell her off, say that's overboard. Guys return back. Nothing. They'll look again in the morning, but nothing was stolen, no cars or tools or chickens or anything. We all decide to stay up, fuck sleeping. Coffee and bread passed around and ideas are exchanged about what that shit may have been. Thieves come up, spirits come up, again La Llorona comes up. Skinwalkers even come up. Sun comes up. The whole family goes out and checks everything. Blood outside my window, uncle missed it? My mom audibly worries. Go on with day. Nothing else happens as we stay for a few more nights, uncle and cousin and dad alternate guard duty. Except on the last night. Newspaper brought from nearest big town warns country folk about marauding bands of hyper-poor people. Break into barns and farmhouses and kill owners, take as much shit as they can carry, and leave back to somewhere in the hills. Dozen people from a couple farmhouses dead already, only a native farmhand who killed an intruder and drove himself to his town lived long enough to say what happened, but shitty doctor couldn't keep him alive. Apparently that was my dad's first and only guess as to who those people were. I asked him about it years later and asked what he told my uncle that night. MFW, he said, I saw Gitanos and my uncle instantly knew what to do. I look up what Gitanos are in English. Gypsies.
So I ran into something in the desert. Possibly multi-part depending how in depth I go, but whatever. Be manlet in a desert. flying up and down on my ATV like a motherfucker. Suddenly, engine dies. Fuck.jpg. Fuel filter blew the fuck out. Look in my toolkit I have on me. Can't fix it. I gotta ditch this thing and get back to my truck. I kinda knew where I was, but now that I'm on foot and worried about getting back, having some problems. Walking. Past the occasional snake or something, whatever. Fuck, it's hot out, I gotta sit down. Find me a nice tree to collect bearings under. Drinking from my water. Put a little in my hat so it drips down and cools my head. See movement in the bushes nearby. Hey, anyone there? I need a ride. No answer. Please man, help me out. Suddenly, hear Nyaroo. What I can best describe as a zombified mix between a coyote and a mountain lion shoots out of the bushes. Go to grab gun. Fuck, I left it at the ATV, at least it was my hit point I bring out just in case shit like this happens. All I have at this point is a knife. Running like a goddamn Kenyan right now. Run into a royo thing with a old culvert pipe. Not the best answer, but it's some form of defendable position. Hole up in the culvert pipe. Successfully escaped the Nyaroo at this point. Getting my bearings and making a plan. It's not over, motherfuckers. More? I'm near a developed area. By near, I mean like 2 or so miles away from. Figure I can make it there and get a ride to my truck and then get the ATV/gun. Come out of the culvert pipe. Moving at a decent pace but not too fast, as heat stroke is a real bad thing. Check watch. It's 1:23. Fuck, hottest part of the day. In July. It's like 106 out by now. Find me another tree to water up it. Getting low on water too. Say I'm fucked and kick some rocks. They fly into the shrubs and cacti and shit. Here grew up, it sounded like someone was trying to cold start a dump truck. Oh fuck. Not now. Nyaroo. The coyote lion thing is now on top of me since it traveled at about Mach 87. It's in between the size of a coyote and a mountain lion, big lion tusk things on a coyote head and a long-ass coyote tail. The fur and skin looks like it was made out of oilfield mud and the devil's shit. Fighting this thing away from my neck. Finally get it off. Kicking it like David Beckham and getting my knife. It's not fucking off. Knocks me down. I'm fumbling like a retard. Stab it in the eyeball. Weird colored blood, like a mix of motor oil and trans fluid, starts pouring out. It smells like death. Keep stabbing. It's dead, I figure by now. Get it off me. Inspect self for bites. Thankfully none. But the blood is all over me, and it's like tar. Okay, fuck. Gotta get back to civilization and not run into another one of these since I almost broke my knife. Begin my journey down the service side roads that are used by maintenance crews and shit to get to the flood pipes part 3 inbound. Gonna take a bit of a break and make sure I get all the events accurate. Well, here we go. Making my way down this side road, cabar out, covered in tar, blood and scratches. I look like I belong in Fallout or some shit. Doing scans and shit, still going down this road hoping I run into a service truck. See a truck in the distance. It's getting closer, see no markings though. Realize it's an army truck. Put knife away. Too late. It stops, like 6 dudes get out, and I'm now eating gravel. Why are you on this road? I just wanted to get back to town, I'm sorry. Why do you have a knife and what's on your shirt? It's blood, I ran into something out there. Rifles cocking. MP3. It was like a mountain lion coyote thing, I'm sorry, I didn't know about this road. Now on my feet. Describe this animal. Tell them what I said earlier. They take my shirt/knife and put them in a bag. Give me army PT shirt. They tell me to wait there. Pile back in truck. About 15 minutes later, Humvee pulls up. They take me to the Air Force base for some reason. I'm firing off questions about my truck, my ATV, why they took my shirt, all of that. Driver says don't worry. Talk with some dude at the base about what I saw and if I'm okay. Go to PX for food, infirmary, all that shit. Given a ride back home. Truck is there already with ATV, but gun is gone, meh was high point. Still no idea what the fuck happened. And that is the end to the Nyaroo story.